All right, so welcome back to week 5 of the Figma track UIUX Textilers cohort 5 and our last class of this cohort. First of all, I would like to apologize for yesterday. It was beyond me. It was a network thing in this part of Nigeria, and I just couldn't do much about it. So, but I apologize all the same. All right, I'm not using any slide today, so I'm just going to, yes, I want to start with our design that we're trying to achieve that week when I kept having those hitches. I don't know if you remember this design or you were in class. I was trying to teach constraints, trying to teach responsive design, and I had this example, and then I kept having some problems with it, but then I realized what the issue was. Usually, I don't know if we remember. Do we remember this design that we're working on?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know if you were able to figure it out on your own, but I eventually remembered why it happened that way. I was a bit all over the place that week, but by the time I calmed down and I looked at what I was doing, it dawned on me what was going wrong. All right, so I'm just going to quickly review that particular design so that I'm not leaving any lesson undone. All right, so real quick, I had this design where I designed our menu, a text, and a button. And I told us, okay, and I brought our button from a different place. So remember that I told you, okay, you can have all your components, all your reusable elements that you want to use on a different page, and then your project itself on a different page. But if you also want to access your components, you can come under your assets and you are going to see the components that you created. Okay, so far so good. We just have like one component here that we created, and we can always bring it into our design as many times as we want instead of creating all over again. So, and when we bring it, all we have to do is, change the text. And I taught us auto layout, where once you have designed what you want to design and you put it on auto layout, the text you're typing in is just going to adjust to the initial shape. So let me type something else here. Oh, sorry. So anyway, this is not even what I want to do. I'm trying to waste time again, but no problem. Let me delete this. Let me delete this. So on my main text here, let me go back to my layer. On my main text here, I can just get this is my components here. So on my main text here, I could just call it something. I can just say sign up. You see, the moment I cleaned that join the community, my shape immediately readjusted, and that's because I set it on auto layout when I created it. So I'm going to do a sign in, and then I have like a whole other shape. But when I go back to my components, which is here in assets, it's still carrying the join the community today that I created, because that was my initial component. So unless I want to change everything to join our community, I can always just bring my components and adjust it to the actual size that I want. So let me zoom to fit. All right, so that's not the main issue. When I did it and it got to this guy, I left it at the side here because I was feeling, okay, from here I could just change it, and I could just easily make it responsive by clicking on my MacBook layer and then clicking on portrait. Now, it's still doing what what it's doing before. But the simple issue is Figma already knows that by the time your screen is this way, you can no longer display your menu this way. By the time you reduce your screen to this size, you're going to use what is known as a hamburger. So even when you're building your design, by the time your screen is this size, you can't have your menu displayed like this. You can't have your menu displayed like this. So you're going to use what is known as a hamburger. So let me, is when you are using your site, in this this web size, that you are going to have your full menu displayed like this, because this is our website size. But the only way this is going to work for me and it can come to the middle is if the original design was meant for it to be in the middle. That's the only way that by the time I try to turn it to my portrait frame, is going to put it this way for me in the middle. But ideally, let me close this particular, let me close this group. I'm going to do it with this group because by the time you reduce your design, when I'm on a phone, I don't think you've ever seen a design on a phone or on a tab where you see all the menu. Instead, we use what's known as hamburger, and it's hamburger just because of what it looks like. And I'm sure many of us, we see it all the time when we are online. Okay, so our hamburger is just these 3 lines. I'm going to come here and increase the size of my line. It's on 1 stroke right now, but I need that hamburger thing to come out. So I'm going to try 3. Okay, I think 3 is perfect. So we have it this way. So now all I have to do is duplicate. So I'm going to do Control D and move it down. Control D again and move it down. Oh, okay, sorry, let me go out of this dev mode. Control D and I'll move it down again. Okay, so I don't know how many of us were familiar with seeing this. Remember this thing we see? Well, once I'm going to Control G this. Let me group it so that I'll group it, then I'll call it. Let's never forget about renaming I'll just call it menu because that's our menu. But this particular icon itself is known as a hamburger. So sometimes your menu can come in this form, or it will come in those dotted forms. So you can use any of the designs that, if you're dealing with like so many apps or something, you can use those dotted forms and create your menu. But in this case, is when you now click here, then your menu will now, a scaffold will now pull out to show you what is on your menu. Don't worry about these terminologies. You're going to get a hold of everything eventually. So when I tried to restrain it, it didn't let me, because ideally when it's at this particular size, this is what you're supposed to see, not a whole menu anymore. The only way you're going to see your whole menu and you want to display your whole menu is if you center it first before you make it responsive. And then one more thing again with this, let me turn it to my, let me put back my group on and then off my menu so that I can, okay. Now another part of this responsiveness is this. If I decide, okay, let's say because of the screen now, maybe I'm trying to display my site on a very large screen, and okay, everything is okay. Everything is even, because ideally, oh, okay, I made it responsive before let me say I'm going to undo this. Okay, let me off this. Off this menu. Okay, good. So that we can see what we are doing. Okay, I don't. Mhm. Oh, sorry, Josette. All right. Um. Yes. Well, pretty much. What else did I want to even show you? What else I want to show you? What else I want to show you? Oh my God. Not okay. Anyway, let me go into today's class. There's something I was trying to show you just now. There's one more element. As soon as I remember it, I will, I'll get back to it. I'll get back to it. So and then let me go back to issue of yes, we were going to do some career talk today, and I'm going to show you some best practices for you to create a portfolio. All right. So first things first. At the beginning of this cohort, we talked about different parts in the UI/UX field, and one thing I want us to talk about is the fact that okay, after you have learned your design, or while you are learning it, because you cannot be done learning it, while you are doing it,
Excuse
you're
me,
going
ma,
to have
please.
okay, go on.
Okay, ma, please. I'm trying to take you back to the menu, the hamburger.
Okay,
Okay, please. While I was creating a particular app, I actually made use of that, but I
okay.
got that from plugins. Is that also the same?
It's the same thing. I just created my own from scratch. It's the same thing.
Okay. Okay.
Yes. Remember the
Secondly,
idea. Sorry.
okay, I'm
Remember
listening,
the
ma,
idea
please.
of plugins. The idea of plugins is just to make you work efficiently, because
Yeah.
everything you see on plugins, you can recreate it on Figma. Everything you see, they created most of those things from Figma. So just is the idea of okay, just trying to hasten your work. Let's say you're working with a team, you have like a timeline for your project. Your project manager is saying she wants this to be done and achieved at a certain time. You won't have time to go and be creating everything from scratch. So that's the idea of the plugin, to just help you work faster with everything available to you, so that you don't have to build everything from scratch. But if you have the time, and the resources, and you want to build everything from scratch, why not? Why not? So
Okay. Thank you, ma.
yeah, so
Secondly, in a
yeah,
situation whereby I want to create a job opportunity page,
okay, okay, I'm listening.
use the menu bar. So if I want to create the job opportunity page on the next page, what I do, I hope I'm going to create a frame where on that frame going to create that job opportunity, whereby when you click on the menu bar, you click on find opportunity. When you click on it, then you get the job opportunity page on a frame. Is it how I'm supposed to arrange it?
Okay, like separate pages with one action leading you to the next. Is that what you're talking about?
Yes. Yes, ma, please.
Yes, yes, that's how you should do it. But
Okay.
also a situation where you are doing a job opportunities frame, right?
Yes,
When
ma.
you click on the job opportunities, first and foremost, you should have like a long list with a search. You create a search tab on
Bar.
top, right? Yes, a
Yes.
search bar at the top with your search icon inside. Then right under it, you can just have like maybe the job opportunities can come up in region, or you just have like a list, a list of job opportunities. Then maybe after your search bar, you give a room where you could look for a filter icon.
Okay.
Where you can filter the jobs by maybe location, maybe industry, or what's other location, industry, and maybe well, I can't think of all right now, but you can just make sure that the filter has those options. Okay, sort this
Yes.
thing by you have that filter icon beside it. Remember, you are not creating something that is when you start prototyping, that this, when you click on this, it will link you to this. So but in
Exactly.
the design, don't think too much about it. You see, the idea of iteration is when you come and you are trying to link the pages, by the time you see, it's at that point you will know if you have missed a step or not, and you can at that point create whatever missing link that you need. But from how I understand this is, have your search bar, have your search icon inside by the side, put a filter icon, then you have like order lists that are just there on that screen, meaning that for the person to get what kind of job they are looking for, they have to type into the search bar. So that's just what that screen is going to look like. That's
Okay.
all. Then maybe the next screen is going to be, okay, I have already typed the job I'm looking for, and then that one will now bring up the job I'm looking for,
Description. Yeah.
and yes, and display it with full details on the subsequent screen. So now when you do that, is when you are prototyping and you feel like, okay, the idea is of iteration is to just say, okay, there's an action missing here. I would love that when the user gets to this point, let this other action come in before this other action. You'll be able to figure it out by yourself. Trust me. It's just, when we started, we will do 8 screens and we think we are done. But as time went on, that 8 screens ended up becoming like 24 screens, because when you are studying that screen, you see, no, there's supposed to be an action between here and here, between here and here. But for now, don't be hard on yourselves at all. Don't be hard on yourselves. That's all I'm going to tell you. Whatever your head can just go slow, go smoothly. As you grow in this, I promise you, figure it out. You're going to figure it out. The most important thing is that you are doing it. That's just it. That's the most important thing. Okay. So I don't know if
Thank you.
I've cleared. All right, that's good. Well, I'm going to teach you one other way to ensure that you don't miss too many steps eventually. All right. So very quickly, I want to talk about, okay, the steps we need to take. The steps we need to take in this journey now that we are here. First, we said you must figure out which part you want to do. Now, from all these things that we are doing, it's only you that will know your strengths. Maybe you are awesome at design. You can just tell yourself, it's like, I'll just stick to UI design. That's all I'm going to do. The other person, UX writer. But I just know that a lot of people start from one and they grow into the other parts of UI UX design. It's a great thing if you can do all, but it's also a great thing if you can specialize. There is nothing bad with either of these two categories. I can't even tell you this one is better than this one. Some people will tell you it's better to specialize, but because of where we are, our country, we can't just, it's not easy for us to specialize. I'm saying this as from my experience. It's not easy to specialize because we might just be sitting down waiting for UI jobs, UI jobs, UI jobs. You keep seeing job roles that want UI and UX, UI and UX, UI and UX. Or you just say, okay, I want to stick to UX, and you just keep seeing rules that are saying um we want only UI, or it just depends on the situation. So I would advise, if you can move from one step to the next and know all, why not? You can decide, okay, maybe you won't be too particular about UX writing, but UI UX, it's important that you are able to embrace those first. From there, you move to interaction design. When you finish those ones, you are great at it, you can decide to come back to US writing. So, and then when you finish all those ones, you elevate to product design full time. So that's how I would advise that you go. move from UX to UI or UI to UX. Just try to know it to like a great degree. Then, of course, learn design principles, the typography. All we did was touch on typography, touch on colors, and all that. If you can tell yourself, okay, this week I want to dedicate it to just learning only typography, let me look for resources around typography and just go into typography. I'm not even going to read anything else if not typography. That will go a long way. And maybe the next week you say, okay, I want to focus on color psychology. How does this color work? What does each color mean? What does it say? When I'm designing an app for food, which color should I use? When I'm designing an ad for let's say a ride sharing app, what kind of color? If I'm designing an app for clothing, what should I go? And this clothing for who? Is it for kids? Am I doing it for? Is it for women? Is it for men? If I'm designing a financial app, for instance, what color should I go to? So eventually you will be learning all those ones, you'll be figuring it out, and it will really, really help. The next thing we'll learn is, okay, like we are currently doing, is to learn your design tool. And apart from Figma, we have Sketch by Adobe. The only problem with that is it's not free, it's paid, and it's not cheap, and it's not used in every industry or every industry. The most common one, the reason we keep hammering on Figma is the world accepted one. You can know your Figma and you go for a job role. If you can know your Sketch, I mean, very well. Sketch is equally a very good tool, but it's expensive and it's not free. Eventually, when you start making money, you can decide to have both if you want. Then when you do that, you do what is known as 30-day design challenge. Now let me tell you what that works, and I'm going to look for a proper, there is actually a like a community for it, for a 30-day design challenge. You can tell yourself, okay, in so months I'm going to do a 30-day design challenge. It's really simple. Day one, they will give you like a sign-in screen. It will be only you designing. It will be you and many other people around the world. They'll say, okay, this is your challenge for day one. Design a sign-up screen. And then that will be your challenge. You design a sign-up screen. When you finish, you share it on the platform. And apart from the design platform, you can share it on your LinkedIn page, because that's your professional page. You can just write, oh, I'm on a 30-day, I'm new to UIUX design, and I'm on a 30 days challenge, and we were asked to design a sign-in screen. Here is my attempt at it. And also, before you do that, make sure you're following a lot of UIUX designers, because that's where you'll be getting your feedback from. Make sure you're following so many of them, so that you can keep getting feedback. You see somebody who just say, oh, this is lovely. Could you just adjust this, adjust that? Because trust me, if you have the mind to start getting your feedback, like on a social space, you're not going to end here, because you're going to grow really fast. It may, some of the feedbacks, they won't make you happy. Now, so feedback day. But if you hold on and keep effecting those changes, you will get to a point where you see like maybe 50% of people are telling you that this is great, and another 50 are saying, When you are there, know that you have arrived. When 50 people will tell you this is good, and the 50 people on the 50% of the people on the comments are saying, not really, know that you are there. You are there, because trust me, even you UX designers have been doing this for 10 years. People are still criticizing their design one way or the other. They're still criticizing. But from the time you do it and you have just know you're there. At least you have more people, or it doesn't have to be more. In fact, when 40% on the comments tell you that your job is good, it means that you are there. You are very there. So don't even feel any sort of way, because professionals, see, tomorrow nobody's leaving them. People are still criticizing their jobs, and you're going to get there. And you get there by effecting changes whenever you get a feedback. So I'm going to send a link to that 30 days challenge. If you can complete it, and for whatever reason you are unable to do like a 1 day challenge, don't give up. Still pick up and continue. From there, there's another one that is 100 days challenge again. My dear, if you complete it, I know you will not be here. I know you will not be here, because even in our next cohort, I would love for one of my students to be the ones to take the class. I'll be there, but I would really like one of my students or two. There can be three mentors in a class. It can be shared to teach new people. So I'm really looking forward to that. All right. So another thing again, another important thing we can use is AI. AI. I'm going to just tell you some few ways you can use AI tools. You can use Gemini, you can use Copilot, you can use Bing AI. You can use any of these AIs to help you accelerate your UI/UX design process. And how are you going to do that? When you enter a prompt for ChatGPT, for instance, okay, let's say, because for this project, it's been really challenging for a couple of people, and I understand it. I would say just focus on whatever you see on the screens. If they say, okay, we just want a screen, okay, like I think I met somebody that was saying she's really confused how to go about her own. They're trying to create I think an event management app or so, and she was like, and she has done signing and all that, but she does not know the next screen she's supposed to create. So my advice was use ChatGPT. When you ask ChatGPT, you say, I like to greet ChatGPT. I don't know why. It's giving me answer. I like telling me hello, good afternoon. I like greeting it. We're in a partnership. So I like to tell it, I will just say, for instance, I'm building an event management app for so and so. Like, okay, so when you enter your prompts in AI, because it's important that you ask the right question. Because if you give AI garbage, it will give you garbage back. So you need to learn how to give the right prompt. And we have a course like that on this particular cohort, where Foyi and Jumoke and other mentors are teaching co-pilots and co-pilot studio. If you can go through those videos, you're going to learn how to give the proper prompts. I know that it's limited to co-pilot, but trust me, it's the same rule for all of these AI engines. It's the same rule. If you're able to learn prompting for co-pilots, it's the same formula you use to ask ChatGPT, Gemini, and the rest. So the most important thing is understanding the prompts. You can also look for resources online to learn how to give prompts properly to an AI. If you ask it the right question, it will go a long way. So let's say for your screen, I think the girl was telling me she didn't know the next screen was supposed to be all events, and she didn't know how to go about it. If you ask ChatGPT, how can you go about designing an all events page for an event management app? Maybe we should try it. Let me try it. Let me launch ChatGPT. I have a free version. I use Gemini, I use all. Let's just try it. Let's see it in action. If you ask it, it's going to give you a breakdown of what you should include on that particular screen. It will suggest so many things for you. Okay, put this, put this, put this, put this. Let me, okay. Let me go to, I'll soon share my screen with you. Just give me a moment. Let me launch ChatGPT. Because the truth is, I didn't know what your project was going to be about. And we are not, most of the mentors, we are not in the project group. If I had an idea, I would have taught people all these things. But I didn't have any idea. We are not in the project group. So when students started asking me questions, I started realizing, okay, there were certain things I should have also mentioned and not just stick to my syllable. I would have gone outside my syllable, and then I'm trying to open my ChatGPT right now. Okay, I don't know why it's taking forever, but let me see if I can launch Gemini here. No, my Gemini is not on this particular page. Let me see. Network is just so bad, my God. I don't want, I will not hear anything today, oh God. I need to finish my class. Let me see if I can launch Gemini, whichever one that can cooperate with me today. Okay, looks like Gemini is cooperating. So let me switch my screen. Let me switch my screen real quick to Gemini. Hey, all right. So yes, my Gemini has opened. Thank you. So now let me just ask what I was asking. Let's just see it. Well, just let most of these things, they are free. There are free versions. There are paid versions. But for now, believe me, the free version is just enough. It's just enough. All right. So now I'm putting in my prompt here, and I'm going to say, okay, this one doesn't even want me to greet him. It's just always saying, how can I help you? So me too, I'll go straight to the point. I'll just say, okay, I am building a an event rather, or I can say, yes, let me just say, let me just say, let me keep it simple. I'm building an event management app. Okay. Just say create my command. I'm coming, sorry. Create. No, not really create. If you say create, it will still give you break it down for you. It might not necessarily create it, but it will also link you to examples as well. Create an all events page. Events page for me. Building an see, I know I'm making mistakes here. This Grammarly that I just use on the side. An all events page for my app. I can also for my app something. For my app. So I'm going to click on enter, then we'll wait for it to see the suggestions. All right. So if you look at it, it's saying the all events page is a crucial hub for your event management app. It should provide a clear and user-friendly way for users to discover and register for events. Here is the breakdown of key elements. There's an AI app that I have that can generate pictures. I was going to share it before, but I changed my mind because it's like I told you, unless you understand it, then you'll be able to break the rules. It's not fair for you at this early stages to have AI helping you design anything. So that's why I changed my mind from giving you. I want you to at least when you people are lucky to see AI to even give you ideas. We had to think about everything from scratch. So I've tried. I won't even go beyond this so that you can figure all those ones as you learn. It's too early to leverage on AI to help you build a sample screen. All right. So now it's telling us, first things first, we should have like a banner / hero section. These are all UI elements. These are all UI elements. You remember the banner we created for our website, that kind of thing. It's saying, okay, you can have like a banner, and that banner is a large image. It can be dynamic. You can put a slideshow, on your banner. If you look at apps like Konga and Jumia, they leverage on a lot of banner images. In case you're wondering what a banner is, those ones that keep flipping on top of your Jumia app when you are shopping, that is a banner. So it's suggesting to you that, okay, you can start your app, and I'm sure you can imagine what will be displaying on your events management banner. Maybe upcoming events, for instance. That's what you have a slideshow on that banner on. It will just be passing, oh, this one is coming up on so dates. maybe you've already designed like a really nice advert for the events, and then that's what you have on your banner. It should just pass to the next upcoming events, to the next upcoming events, and all that. So you can have that. So you see, we also have like a search bar. Right under it, we can have like a search bar. In that search bar, it will allow users to search for events by keyword, category. Yes, keyword was what I was trying to remember. Keyword, category, location, or dates. I hope you can hear me. This rain. So keyword, you can use that to search. Then we have under that, that's where we are going to have the second thing is to have like our event listing section arranged down. It's going to display all our upcoming events, which is like the core section. It will show the events in a clear and concise format. Then we are going to also have event cards. Remember, you are not doing everything that is here. As this thing is displaying like this, you'll be saying, okay, I'll add this, I'll add this, I'll add this. And then you decide which one works for you. You don't have to pick everything that is here. Then you get to your event title, event details. That's what the event card is going to capture. Let me see if I can Google an event card real quick. I can see even bright safe. I want to let me know enter. And let me enter even because that is an event management. That's an example of an event management website. They also have an app as well. So exactly, see what we have here, right here at the top. Oh, sorry, we are not seeing this screen. Let me change. Let me just go to Windows. Let me share my window so that I can flip from page to page. Oh, it's okay. Oh, it's window. So you were seeing what I was displaying, right? Yes. So this is like an example of a banner on your website. This yellow parts, and you see their own. They also have categories, which is what Gemini is telling us. Let's add categories so that people will know what kind of events they are looking for. These people, they have music, nightlife, holiday, dating, and all that. Now, an event card is what we have here. This agro investment summit, this whole card here, agro investment summit, you give the details, you give, it's also saying that it's free. It's saying it's Thursday, 9 a.m. at Kafanchan. Kafanchan is in Kaduna State. So it's showing the event card. I just wanted to display the event card and all that so that you see what it looks like. But the cards, the way it will display on your mobile app is different from your website. Then it's also saying have like an infinite scroll. An infinite scroll is when you can just keep scrolling, scrolling, not like a fixed scroll where maybe when I take it this way I cannot go down again. But an infinite scroll, it just lets you scroll. In fact, this is not infinite per se. But infinite doesn't, really mean infinite per se, but I understand what Gemini is saying. This page would have been, so you see, even this page, it has its own issues. So this page would actually have made sense as an infinite scroll. You just keep going, you are seeing all those things. But I can understand why Eventbrite decided to leave it this way. Then we also have like a feature for map. Add a map so that people will know where they are going to. Then it's saying personalization. If capable, personalize the event listing based on users' preferences or past attendance, which also happens on Eventbrite. Let's say I keep going for tech conferences now. I'm going to make sure that whoever comes on my website and goes for like an event, this has to do with the functionality anyway. Doesn't really have anything to do with you as a UI designer per se, because it's inserting the functionality that the person can target the page to a particular user. That's probably something JavaScript has to do. So that's pretty much it. So you see, it's also saying here are some bonus tips. Use high quality images. Ensure the layout is responsive. Provide clear information about event registration and ticketing options. Leverage user reviews and all that. So if you want to start your project, this is a very good place to start by leveraging on AI. One day they will ask you, how do you leverage your UI UX design? How do you leverage AI in your UI UX design? These are part of the things you can discuss on how to leverage UI UX. All right. So the next thing I want us to talk about is, yes, for us to be really good at this, we must leverage copying other people's design. And I'm going to take you somewhere that you're going to find that. You must leverage copying other people's design. There are people that have been doing this way before us. And if we can, with the few shapes and elements that we have learnt, you can just pick a design and say, okay, I want to copy this design from head to toe. Maybe the only thing you will not find available is the images the person used. You can always go and find a similar image. I showed you one plugin last week, Content Reel, where you can go there and replace, put in dummy images, pictures, and all those things. You can generate addresses, you can generate phone numbers and all that. Content Reel, don't forget, it's very important plugin for a beginner. Then also, let's say this Eventbrite page now. Let's say you are getting really good at it and you understand some of these UI elements. You can tell yourself, I want to redesign this Eventbrite page. It's very possible. You can say, I want to design this Eventbrite. Maybe for you, there are so many things you can add to this to make this page look cleaner. To make this page look cleaner. Then you can just say, I want to redesign this page, and just do your thing, and possibly post it, because it's not a crime. It's not a crime. You can just say, oh, I tried to you put it on LinkedIn. You can even tag them if you like. I tried to the Eventbrite page. What do you think about my project? And let people give you feedback. Let's say for some reason it happens to be better than what they have. My dear, they will hire you there and then to redesign their page, because that has happened a lot of times to my colleagues. They will sit down, they will redesign an app. Before you know it, they are paying them in millions to redesign the project. So that has happened. So dare yourself, push yourself. Don't let anything intimidate you. You are learning. No matter what it looks like, you are learning. So don't let anybody make you feel any less, because everybody came from that place. Nobody woke up one day and they're a genius. That's impossible. So learn to redesign other. Let's say, okay, you go to a site and the site doesn't look too complicated for you, or okay, you can attempt to do something like this. You people right now in the class, I know that nothing can stop people from redesigning something like this. Look at what you say. Look at what you say. Nothing can stop people from redesigning it. This is just the page, what you are seeing here. If you decide, oh, you will do it. Use Content Reel to replace some of this content. See images. So you see all these things now that are happening on this picture as I touch them. They are the small animations and transitions that you're going to learn more about, so that you'll be adding to your design. But at this beginning stages of your career, don't really be hard on yourself. Whether you do a static page that is not moving, that's where you should start from. Eventually, you will learn how to add these transitions to your projects. So that's like the other points that I wanted to mention. Remember, social media is your friend always, and especially LinkedIn. You need to leverage on that. Okay, so now, very quickly, I want us to look at portfolio design. Portfolio design. There are some pages I had opened earlier. Okay, portfolio design. There is what we know as what is known as let me bring this down so that I see them. Okay, There's what is known as Behance. Behance. Let me even go to Behance here first before I come back. I'll show you Behance. I'll show you Dribble. As a beginner, that is all you need. Don't start telling yourself, oh, I want to go and build websites. It's too early for that. Don't worry yourself. When you get very confident in your design, you can always go and build your website. You can always go and build your website. But for now, trust me, it doesn't matter to whoever is hiring you. If you can look at your work and see that you are good, that's the most important thing. The world is driven by skills these days, not by any over-sabiting. You can do your thing, do your thing, do your thing. It won't matter if your design is not great. So this is Behance. You use it for portfolio projects, graphic design, and all that. All your creative jobs, everything is here on Behance. So all you need to do is go to www.behance.net and sign up. Behance is a platform that belongs to Adobe. They own Behance. Okay? So when you go, you're going to see so many design jobs that people have been doing. But since you are a UI/UX person, let me just continue here so that it lets me explore. You can see, hire freelancers. Somebody can come here because of this your account that you opened and hire you from here. I don't know why people are asking me for plenty details. I'm not in the mood. I'll call you back and see that. All right. So oh, it's asking me to fill my data and all that, and I don't feel like it. Oh, it's not to sign me in. Oh no. I don't want this. Oh. Okay, let me see. Let me just go to this other one. Let me just go to this. Stop it. All right. Okay. Don't mind me. Let me just enter from here. From my main, this is Behance. Behance.net. It's taking me to a different place. But no, anyway, let me just go here and yes, I'm inside Behance now. All right, so these are graphic design jobs, mock-ups, and all that. But because of what we want to see, we want to see UI/UX jobs. So we'll go to projects, and under projects, we're going to see different categories. We have UI design here. So I'm going to click on UI design so that I'll be seeing a lot of UI design projects. Right? So these are people's work. These are people's work. Lovely, lovely jobs. And in this particular platform, you're expected to display your work as two things, either a project or a case study. And I'm going to tell you the difference very soon. So people just have their projects and all that here. You see so many things. In this place, you can get inspired. And even some of you that are looking for certain designs that you cannot find. Let me try to click events management app. Oh my God, you're clicking out. Let me try to do event management. Let's see what comes up. Events management. We have event management. App design, UI/UX. They are here. People have done it before. Unless you are inventing something brand new, know that someone has done it before. So You're going to see a host of them here. You pick whichever one you want. Let me see. Okay, this is fine. You pick whatever one you want and go from step to step and see the way they presented their work. And believe I told you we're in a copy time now. It's okay to copy. You learn from copying. Okay, like for you now that is doing a job site, for instance, see here is somebody's app that they've done for job search. Let me try to show you what the project looks like. Just enter Behance, explore. This is the same way you guys are going to be submitting yours as well. All right, see, they're calling it Jobstar, Android mobile app for freelancing. All right. So I know the design you're doing is for Power Apps, but trust me, Power Apps can also create these interfaces as well. Your own is just to bring out a design. It's left for them to interpret it. So you see, these are some screens now. These screens are called onboarding screens. These ones with the images and everything. The person just chose to use like a real interesting illustration. But the most important thing is all you know na image dey here, na text dey here, na lines dey here. Let me move this so that I can. Yeah, these are lines, these are buttons, these are text. I want you, whenever you see a design, don't worry about the image. Try to break each of the elements, each of the UI elements separately. If you get this design, or maybe somebody will like, me, I cannot copy this one. Say smooth. Just simplify your design into image, text, line, button, text, line. That's all. And before you know it, you have created all these screens. This is an image as well. Text. This is a circle. This can come from a plugin as well. Before you know, you've created these 4 screens already. All right. This person has been designing for a very long time, so don't feel intimidated. I really like it, Sha. That's just it. But this one you're seeing here is not like this is a case study project. That's why there's a lot of write-up and processes. And I'm going to show you how to. This one, when you are displaying a case study, you are going to do more writing and less design. This was the same screens we saw at the beginning, onboarding screens. This is the splash screen. This is the onboarding screen. This is the sign-up screen. Then these are the other screen, the progress bars and all, everything. Look at this design. What is hard here? Look at it. Is this not what we have been doing? Text, button. Look at it. Look at it. This is a list. When we say list, this is it. Choose your specialty. That's the approach that this job and this is coming from. Enter your education. I've just given some people expo now. But no problem. It's the ability to just, sit down and really bring it out. All right. So that's just it. This is where you can come find inspiration. And all you need to do is sign up. Just sign up, put all those details, and you're in. Put your profile picture. Okay, let's say, for instance, we have seen this design now, Abi. We want to see who did it. The idea is when we find them and we love what they have done, we follow them. That's the next step. We follow them. This is okay, this design is owned. And if you remember when I was talking about collaboration, don't focus on doing any design by yourself. Find your friends that you can design. Bring your head together. You can see design that is so impressive was done by 2 people. So it means both of you need to sign up. And you see this person now. Okay, there's an IT school. From what I'm seeing now, is this particular person that probably owns the school, but opened 2 different accounts for her personal and the school. That's why she displayed it like this. So now maybe we want to see designs like this in the future. We'll now go and follow. That's all. Normal stuff. The way you would have it on your social media. Let me look at the owners. See this one now. This is a good example. Multiple owners. Look at the people who did this one. Let me move this guy. Why is this thing always in here? Let me minimize. So this one has multiple. Look at the people that are doing this. Look at the people that are doing this. Multiple owners. This one too. This is a Nigerian. We have Efosa Nigeria. Efosa is saying he's looking to be hired. That is why his own button is this way. Hire me. Maybe this guy is not looking to be hired yet. Maybe he's not feeling too confident to be hired. That's why he just wants you to follow him. So Behance is going to give you options for everything you want to do. Maybe for now you just want to be followed, and you want to follow others because you are still learning, you are still figuring it out and all that. Probably some people have like a tax manager app. You're going to see from the complicated ones to the simple ones, you know. So when you look, you see multiple owners. This guy did this alone. So that's why we have just one name here. And when you hover over his name, his details will come. See him. He's a freelancer, he's full-time, and he has 782 followers. And he has this particular project has been viewed 24,000 times. It's like when you are looking for likes on Twitter, you know, and all those things, except your own on Behance is full work. And you can also connect to all of these people. You can connect to all of them. Build your community around them. Ask them for if they are going to offer free service. Oh, wow. If not, you can just keep trying to reach out to people on this platform. That's what this does. So now, real quick, I'm going to show you the difference between, because as a UI UX person, you're going to either post on Behance a project or a case study. Now, one advice I'm going to tell you is, if you're searching for a job, it's good to have both a project and a case study, because the project is going to display the full workings that you have done. Like this job start that we just worked. What I noticed is that the person fused both the project and the case study in one. Because if you notice, we were able to see the other screens. When you display those screens, it means you're displaying the project itself. Now, when you explain your processes, like, okay, let me just go to a case study now. Okay, this is an example of a case study. It depends. This person just knows how to design very well. And then sometimes people sell templates. People that really know how to design, they sell templates. So this is a UI UX case study. And you can see all the person is doing here is displaying the tools that they use in achieving this. That's why I told you this person is just a graphic. The person is a big graphic, because apart from Figma, the person used Adobe Illustrator and Photoshop, you know, to make it look like this. From seeing that this design, you will know that the person created even these bulbs that you are seeing with Illustrator. He created it with Illustrator. All right, created some of these elements with Photoshop. The mock-up, this screen mock-up, looks like something that was done with Photoshop. This Illustrator here, this logo here is all Illustrator work. All these markings, they are from Illustrator and all that. This mock-up that the person did, Illustrator as well. So, but when a hiring manager wants to hire you, it's not the design they are really worried about as much. They want to see your project overview. They want to start. That's for your case study now. This is how your case study needs to. Please go through Behance. You will see so many approaches to case study. This is how your case study is supposed to look like. You give an overview of your projects, and you see this person is telling us is an application for booking hotels, tourist resorts, hotel apartments. You know, that's the overview. This is it. And you know, and then the person is saying, okay, this is his process. You know, we spoke about at the UX stage, you're going to conduct some interviews. Then he's telling us he used 2 weeks. That was very short. That means the person is really good. He used 2 weeks to achieve these projects, and he used 100 plus components in his projects. These components could be components you created from scratch, or you picked from plugins. very, very allowed. And he's saying he has 50. I like this design. I'm going to use this design for one of my projects. Me, man, you see me, I'm still copying. I'm not doing copying yet. I'm going to use this template. It's just I can design with Photoshop, I can design with Illustrator. So I I'll be able to navigate this as well. So 50 screens, that's what he's telling is the person looking at his portfolio currently. Now, project timeline, the person was, cool enough to just give that this really clear and concise breakdown. Okay, saying for his UI UX, for his UX design research, which is where he started from. He started with his strategy, brand, interview, empathy map, user story, user journey map, then problem statements. You have to go back to UX to understand this part of the portfolio, because that's how you're able to say it and write it in your portfolio. Then in the UI, talked about his low fidelity, mid fidelity prototype, which we looked into. Then usability test that we talked about. When you finish, you want to test your prototype, you can select a couple of people to come and be using it while you observe to see if they are encountering any difficulty while using the app. That's the prototype that you're going to give them. From there, when you iterate, you finally present your high fidelity prototype. Now, the guy still did not finish. He still went on to still add, okay, this is where I started, day 1, and then day 14, I delivered. Really cool. I just have to use this. I didn't use anything like this for my project. Okay, but I used some okay ones anyway. Then design thinking process. He talked about his design thinking process. Interviewers love to know your design thinking process. In fact, just your design thinking process alone can make a hiring manager to hire you, because they are very, very much interested in your processes than your outcome. You can come out with like the best looking interface, but if your process is not impressive enough for a hiring manager, then you might even lose the opportunity. But if your processes are good enough, and let's say maybe your UI UX design is not as great, they will still hire you, because it shows you can handle UX properly. Remember we said UX, they handle the design thinking, the initial prototyping, which is wireframing, of course, the one you do on paper and all that. So if you possess just this skill, is good enough for you to be hired as a UX designer. So it's very important to pay attention to the design thinking process and understand how to reflect it in your case study. Remember, we are going through our case study, we are not done. Now, after this person, oh my God, this person is so. See, don't be intimidated by this one. Our journey is different. Just start from where you are. You will get here. The person still went on to break down each of the design processes that he used. The empathy, the define, the ideate, the design. The person was patient enough to still go down and break it. This person just knows how to design. And I'm sure he wants to be able to capture the hiring manager both on the design level and the UX level. So kudos to him. The person went back to demonstrate empathy. He also wrote down his script for his interview here. What is your name? How old are you? To be able to generate the answers he needed to be able to know the user that's going to use this particular app. Also, he demonstrated that he used survey in his findings. That's still UX. Asked and displayed. Oh my, hey, this person is not playing. Displayed like a chart, like a, it's a, like a, what do they call this? Donuts effects to display his graph. Oh, that's really lovely. Did all that, and then, oh, this is lovely. just continue to break up. Please guys, you need to just go into Figma and study some of these things. Then after everything from his interview and from his research now, he was able to pick up on some problems. Now those problems, he listed them here. The user needs to know the details of basic services such as, that's for the kind of people that must use this app now, based on his survey, based on his interview. The user needs to be able to know the details of basic services such as restaurants or hospitals around the apartment or hotel in order to know whether the site is lively or empty. The user needs a way to communicate with the original host. You know, the person is bringing out the things that he observed from the interview. Now, solutions: provide the host number, blah blah blah. Did that one. Empathy map. That is also something you learn in UX as well. As you ask questions, as you ask me questions, wherever a video is, if I cannot answer you myself, I'll go and dig out the right video wherever it is and I'll give it to you. So don't be intimidated by it. It's just because I want to go and pick design of somebody that can really design. But do not be intimidated. Then also the person was able to, pinpoint the pains and the gains as well. Then user story. User story is something you create. In UX, they will teach you how to come up with a user story, even if it is fictional. This is a fictional story. Ahmed works in the field of information technology and recently got a job. It's like creating a persona. If you have done UX, maybe you come across persona. So this is just a persona that this designer created. It's all fictional. It's not a real person. The person created this persona based on the user findings, the pain points, the gains, and then he used it to create a persona. Now, another thing ChatGPT can do for you, after you have done your research, in fact, your research questions, right, your interview questions and your survey questions, you can ask ChatGPT to help you generate it, and it will. Except you have to go through it and see if all the, AI is not always right. So you still have to go through the questions to see if it addresses what you're trying to achieve in the app. So you can have it generate survey questions. You have to be specific. Remember that the prompting is very important. So you have to be specific. Let it generate a question for your survey and your interview. ChatGPT can do all that for you. You just go through it, make your slight adjustments and all that. And remember, whenever you're not even satisfied with any answer that ChatGPT gives you, you can ask it again. Tell him, come up with another one. It will come up with another one. And you'll see that you now have like an array of questions that you can pick from here, pick from here, pick from here, and fuse it together into a complete question script that you're going to ask your user. So from everything now, when you now get your answers, your pains, your gains, after you have answered all your questions, you can still ask ChatGPT to create a story of a fictional person for you with your research findings. It can come up with a story like this for you. That's what AI has done. That's what AI has done. Before, we have to sit down and crack our brain and create these people in our head. But once you find your findings and you give it to ChatGPT, ChatGPT will use it to create this persona for you. So you see Ahmed needs to be comfortable in a quiet place for a long period, all those things. From here on, they'll keep referring to Ahmed. Now, once the idea of this persona is, okay, let me say it's Ahmed that has this problem, because Ahmed now fits into the category of people that will be using my app. The next thing I will now ask myself is, how will I solve Ahmed's problem? Please, if you haven't done UX, try and go back to UX. You can check our old videos on the TechSite platform. You can find YouTube videos. So now, yeah, that's pretty much sorry, okay, I don't know. All right, let me go out of this one. Okay, so that's pretty much. Now when you finish, now you see Ahmed. Now it goes as far as Ahmed having a face. So this is the user persona I was talking about. Now we will give Ahmed a face. Ahmed works, we'll give him a face. Ahmed Ayman, all fictional. What is Ahmed's goal? Ahmed needs to be comfortable, find a place near essential service, get simple interface for a booking. We'll state the goal. In other words, we are stating the goal for the app itself. Because once we answer Ahmed's question, this network today. Hello, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I'm almost done. No, this thing should allow me. Come on, let me just make this. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, because it went off for a moment. All right, thank you. I'm almost done, please. Thank you for your patience. All right, so we're almost there. So this is this persona is more like, okay, this person's personality. And how you arrive at your persona is, okay, people with this sort of persona are likely to use my app. Because from my research, I've seen maybe the average person that will use my app is 30 years old. And the person is single. I can just pick any location. Maybe the person picked the location because of where they live. And the person is calm, hardworking. You can just come up with these things to create a personality for you. Now, this is very important. I'm creating an app. I have to do my research to know who my competition is. So now the person has done his competitive analysis. He has gone booking.com. We all know that's what they do. Airbnb, hotels.com, Hostel World, Expedia, Trip.com. They all do similar services. Now, the person was able to break down more than one way to pay. Clicked the guys that do more than one way to pay. And he realized that Hostel World does not have more than one. Maybe they just have one payment platform, which is really bad for anybody in business. Then filters are very important features in any site. If you are creating an app, people need to be able to drill into to find exactly what they are looking for. And how do you achieve these filters? So the person is seeing what his competitors have done and all that, because the idea is I want to see what my competitor has done and they think they have not done. Then me, I'll now pick everything that they have not done. I will now go and put it in my app to give it an edge so that I can penetrate the market. That's the idea of competitive analysis. I want to analyze all those ones that are doing down there, but the idea is, let me go and look for what they are not doing well, so that me, I will now put it in my own app. Let it give me an edge in the market. So the person was able to see, okay, hotel.com, it doesn't even have filter. I think this Hostel World is really doing very badly. Look at it. Then all details now. These guys have, this guy again still don't have it. Prices details. They all don't have prices details, which is a fantastic edge. Me, I'll now say, let me put pricing detail. You see, there are like 3 different things here that these people, none of them have no refund of reservation. Customers don't trust you sometimes if you don't make room for refund, especially in this type of business. If it's food, that one we know you cannot do refund because of one thing or the other that might have gone wrong. You cannot collect. What will you now do with the food? Except like the food is like really bad and you physically bought it. I don't even know. But things like food, maybe you can do refund. Depending, because there are also limitations. Good prices, all of them, they don't have it. Onboarding. Most apps are too lazy to include onboarding. They are too lazy. So you see, that's something you can leverage on. These guys, Airbnb, their problem is just because they are big boys. That's why they feel like they don't need to do any onboarding. People should be used to them by now. and then booking.com they don't do, hotels.com they do. This one again, Expedia doesn't do, trip.com does. High quality images, all of them, they have high quality, because you cannot joke with that one. Then see hotel on the map, all of them have it, because I mean, what are we talking about? Then some of these ones now, these days it is very important to have like a dark mode. Let's say your app interface is white like this. It is very important to have a dark mode, because it helps it helps with people with disability. For instance, let's say you have like a light issue in your eye, or you have like an eyesight problem, you should be able to just switch to dark mode and all that. And those kind of small features really, really help people to come back to use your app over and over again. So the person explained user flow, like we tried to do with icons and all that. This stage is also in your UX. Is when you reach UI, that you use screen to do flow. But in UX, this is what you will use, because remember, in UX, nobody is expecting you to design or know how to design. So instead of using screens, this is what you will use to explain your flow in UX. In UI, you use the screen, you move from one place. So that's all you have to do. You don't have to use screen if you're doing UX, if you're going to end. So you see, this is what this person. So the person even showed the high fidelity wireframe, broke it down, and was smart enough to show us the dark mode and the light mode at the same time. So when you're using dark mode, for instance, the app will look like this. When you switch back to light mode, this is what the app will look like. So let's say you have issue with lights. This particular place will go easy on your eye, while this place just shines light in your eye, which you sometimes don't need. So that's a good way to display it. Then high fidelity screens. The person just dropped a couple of high fidelity screens. This is all just part of the case study. Now, obviously, the person wanted to just put some of his screens as well to prove to the hiring manager that I can design both. And these days, I notice that this is what a lot of designers are doing, because they don't have time to go and start creating a project page separate from a case study page. So they try to fuse everything together. Let me show this guy I know what I'm doing by explaining my process, and let me drop some of the screens I designed so that this guy will know that I can actually design. This is, if you ask me, this is the best way to go about it. Try and find a way to fuse both together. There's nothing wrong if you just carry another person's design and you are arranging your own the same way. You are learning. It's your journey. As you go further, you customize your own methods. So you see, just displayed a few of the screen. Remember, our screen is 50, but it's not up to 50 here. That means he just selected like some good parts of the screen and displayed it. Then he thanked whoever is going through his portfolio. That is the end of it. So when you just have this, let's say you have 2 or 3 of these on your account on Behance. In fact, 2 safe. You're ready to start pushing, you're ready to start applying for jobs. You're ready to start applying for jobs, because every account has a sharing link. It has a sharing link. Every account. If you look here, it's saying share your work. Share your work. So it gives you room to share your work. Let's say this is okay. Let me just you can do your project when you finish. I don't even have projects in this particular, because it's not like my main. I don't have, my projects are not here, but just like in Figma or Canva, you can, if the person say, I want to see your work, all you will do is carry your link, copy your link. It will provide your links, because it's just because I don't have a project here. You can copy your link and then go and paste it where they're saying you should drop the link for your projects. In fact, you can even copy your link from up here. Depending, is because I don't have anything here. But if I add something here and is my project displaying here, or let me see, let me go back to the one we just finished seeing. Let me go back. This somebody's own. I don't have the power to share it. But if I want to just share this particular page with you, I can just come and copy this. Let me drop it in the chat in case some of you want to go and study it. But just go on Behance, you see so many. And now when I drop this one for you, you can go and you go over it by yourself and just have fun and watch as many more as you can. So you can copy this, go and study, go to other people's project. This is a case study. So instead of having like a project rather like this, a project rather is better to have like a case study, because you can hide your project inside your case study, but you cannot hide your case study inside your project. So yeah, this is how you start your portfolio. As you grow, you can customize your website. You can buy domain name and build your landing page and do all that. And as you study further, you're going to see simpler ways of doing it. You see the way this thing is displayed like this. If you like, you can use a PDF to arrange your work like this and just keep it somewhere. But there's nothing wrong in displaying it in here and having it on a PDF as well. So that maybe you want to share it via email with somebody and you don't want to drop your link for whatever reason, you can just send the PDF to the person. Okay, see the work I've done, see the work I've done. It also works. At this entry level stage, there are so many things you can do and nobody is going to hold it against you because they know that it's a new journey. And when it is time for you to upgrade, nobody will tell you because you're going to be seeing your colleagues, everybody, upgrading their own, so you too must step up. So yes, that brings us to the end of today's class. I thought I was going to use 1 hour, and unfortunately I didn't, so I'm sorry about that. So if you have any questions at this point, let us hear it. If not, this brings us to the end of our cohort for Figma Track UIUX Textilers platform. I hope you were able to learn 1 or 2 things. I want to assure you that we are not done. The mentoring continues. At any point you're confused about something, I will try my best to make time. And if I see that our number is increasing, I'll probably set aside a day again for us to go over certain things. Well, if I just see, okay, one or 2 people coming, I will do my best to make time because my weekdays are very crazy. I work from Mondays to Fridays in an office, and I come back most evenings. Well, as soon as I have a free time, I'm going to always attend to you. I'll always attend to you. Just drop your questions. I don't know if you still need my number. Let me just drop it again so that you can reach me on WhatsApp. Then we can schedule a time. You reach me faster on WhatsApp because as on Discord, sometimes, honestly, I can spend almost a week and won't enter Discord. The only time I'm active on Discord is during our cohorts. When we're having classes, I try to go into Discord as much as possible, but if not, you reach me faster on this line. Let me see, 74 49 800 343. Yes, this you can reach me here. Drop your message. If I'm busy at the time, I will tell you, let us reschedule another time. So yes, that is the end of our class. If you have any questions, let's quickly touch on it. Remember, go and learn how to use prompts. You can find videos on YouTube. You can find You can look at Foyin's class on how to prompt. Foyin and Ms. Jumoke, they are very good at that. So I'm sure you will learn like so much from that class on our YouTube channel. So if there is nothing to ask, we're going to call this class. I'm still waiting for a hand. It's looking like nobody wants to raise their hand. So yes, I wish you good luck. I wish you Godspeed in your endeavor, and I know you're going to do great. Let's and let's not stop practicing. Let's keep practicing. Remember, I'm going to look for the 30 days challenge and the 100 days challenge. I don't know, do I do that now or drop it in Discord? Because it looks like a couple of people are not on Discord. Let me quickly look for the 30 days challenge because it's important. Let me quickly copy the link so that bootcamp 30 days. Yes, daily UI. Daily UI. There are so many of them, Sha. There are so many of them. Daily UI. Yes, let me just do dailyui.co. Dailyui.co. Then there's video list too. Yeah, still UI. That's like the main one. Let me see another one. There's also 30 days challenge on Figma. Guys, it will be nice. This will introduce you into the community. It will be nice. No, this is not what I'm doing. There's just so much. There are so many of them. See, no, I don't want it to open in Figma. That's all. Anyway, you can still explore all that. You can explore all that. The ones that are interesting, pretty interesting, is the one I want you to do. I think this is the 30-day challenge I'm probably looking for. I did this in a while. Okay, yes. This is what I am looking for here. Every time you go, there's a new challenge. Every time you go, there's a new challenge. If you're able to just attempt to do, even if you miss a day or two, don't worry, just keep going. Just keep going. By the time it becomes second nature to you. "30 days of UX." Yeah. This looks new. All right. Users board. Daily challenge. Go to challenge. Yep. Okay, so Is this what I used? I wanted to be sure. I'm seeing something else. Seeing something else. I'm seeing something else. Okay, you know what? I'll drop it on Discord. I'm still looking for the first one I used. It was pretty interesting. But in the meantime, let's use the first link and get started. I'm going to undo this until I'm sure it's the one I used. Yes, just let's use the first link and learn. As soon as I figure the one I used, because there's just so many of them right now. So many of them right now. All right, girls, women, amazing women. It was a pleasure taking you on this journey. I wish you well. I wish you the best. I know you guys will do amazing. Thank you for your time, as always. Best of luck.
Thank you so much, Ma. We really, really appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you too.
Thank you very much for the class. I really appreciate.
Thank you.